All right. Come on in, guys. Come on in. We are live. It is Memorial Day weekend. Is that right? It is Memorial Day weekend, right? Yeah, it is. I had to make sure that I had my holidays right because I know we are off. I know we are off, and we've had a fantastic weekend. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic weekend yourself. I feel good today, man. Long recharge weekend with some friends and some family. I'm excited about the show today because I'm going to be able to get you guys' opinion on a number of things that's going on with the market and going on in the world. And I love to have that conversation with you guys. I got a chance to spend some quality time with my wife and my kids this past weekend. Also, my good brothers that I grew up with. Got a chance to spend some time with them and their families. Man, it's been a fantastic weekend. Today, it was a road trip back home to where we are right now, and I had to get ready for this show. Got back into town about 3 o'clock, and here I am. Here I am in the beautiful New Braunfels, and right now we're under a tornado watch. So if you guys start to see some power flickering and things like that, that we're having storms coming through tonight. It's still a bit sunny outside. I'm looking at the little mirror outside, or the window. I'm looking at the window outside, and it's still pretty clear, but you see some, the trees starting to blow, so winds are starting to pick up. But guys, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to another show. It is May 26th, Memorial Day weekend. We are on season 2, episode 22. We are moving right along in this year. We got a number of things that we're going to be talking to you guys about. But before we do that, you know how we kick out the show. We talk about all the things that I had going on this weekend. Guys, we played a lot of games this weekend. I played games that I haven't played in a very long time. First of all, we started off with some spades. What do you guys know about spades? If you guys don't know about spades, I don't know what's wrong with you. But spades is a game that we absolutely love. It's a card game. Whenever me and my homeboys are together, we battle a lot. Or whenever we and my family are together, we battle a lot. Whether it's my sisters and then me and Teresa are on teams, or whether it is my homeboys and me and Teresa are against them, we battle it out. And it's one of those games that will have you fighting. I'm talking about fighting if your partner doesn't do what's right. Or if you're just competitive, you're going to be fighting with the opponents. And that's what happened this past weekend. It was a lot of fun. And what I mean fighting, it's no physical fighting. It's just a little bit of over exaggeration of things. And it's always a fun game to play. And I will tell you like this, if you and your partner aren't really good at spades together and you try to play and you guys are very, very competitive, you're going to be fighting that night. Me and my wife, Teresa, has been spades partner for a number of years. We have been spades partners for a number of years. And we've gone to bed upset with each other because of a spades game. This is what it is. We get over it. Lovey-dovey, kissy. She's my pookie, whatever you want to call it, right? That's what happens in the game of spades. Now, we also played Uno, which is another game that gets you hype. We also played a new game that was introduced to called Pit, and it's like a stock markets game. And my homeboys introduced me to this one. Bears, bulls, and you're trading commodities. An absolutely dope game. Never played Pit before, but it was fantastic. And I had fun playing it. It was a lot of fun because you're trading around the table and based on a certain number of trades that you do. Then you have a little timer, your little bell ring and all this other stuff. And it was a lot of fun. And we just enjoyed ourselves. I ate some really good barbecue this past weekend, guys. Oh my gosh, some really good barbecue. And I didn't have to cook it. One bit because I went to go cater. We catered barbecue in this weekend. Oh gosh, it was so good too. It was fantastic. But guys, when you come in, make sure that you hit like on the video. Not only that, if you are new to our channel and haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell because we love to grow and we need you guys to grow. So if you guys are in the chat right now, also leave me a 1 if you guys can hear me. I see about 13 people watching this across the platforms. So you guys are just not coming in. Come on in, man. Come on in. Make yourself available. Make yourself help me understand where you guys are coming to us from. Let me know by dropping your city into the chat wherever you guys are. Drop your city wherever you guys are into the chat. But today we're going to be talking about a number of things. We're going to be talking about Microsoft, how they just laid off 6,000 people. And I personally think that this is just a warning shot for all of us. This is just a warning shot for all of us who are in corporate America. Okay? Things are changing. You better get up to speed. You better get going. You better be using AI. This is a warning shot. And this is what we're going to talk about in the first segment of the show. The next thing we're going to be talking about people being sued for credit card debt. If you don't have a job and you're using credit cards, you can put yourself in a really bad position. If you do have a job and you're spending more than you should and putting yourself in a financial situation that you don't need to be in, you are going to be hurting. So financial understanding is very, very important. Having a financial understanding of your finances is very, very important. And we're going to react to some companies who, or I said companies, but we're going to react to some people who are being sued for credit card debt. And we're going to dissect it. We are absolutely going to dissect it, okay? Jason's in the house. Good to see you, man. He says salute. He can see me. He's coming in to us from Freeport, New York. Good to see you, Jason. R3D is in the house. He says Intel's 20,000 plus was the first warning shot. Microsoft following up. I'm telling you, I would even tell you like this. You're absolutely right, R3D. R3D. There's been a lot of warning shots this year. That's why we continue to talk about these subjects. There's been a lot of warning shots this year. But people don't get it unless it happens to them. For some reason, you can be walking down the street and you know that there's a big ape that's walking down the street. That is very, very dangerous. And you can probably see it. But people will act like they don't see it and continue to walk versus crossing the street. Okay? Now, if that ape attacks, that's when people will say, okay, well, man, I'm going to be crossing that street, or we should cross the street. And they start to let people know. That's how people react in the real world. But we've been talking about this R3D for a while. We've been talking about this for years. The warning shots have been out there. Intel was a big one. You're absolutely right, especially with the 20,000. But you had Nissan, you had UPS, you had Volvo, you had Salesforce, you had Google, you had Apple. All these guys are the warning shots. And they're still sending some warning shots. And Microsoft has sent another one. Okay? So guys, that's what we're going to talk about today. These three, we're going to be reacting to some videos like you guys like, because you know how you love to learn about people and learn from other people and learn how their situations are. And that's how we learn in general. So, you know what? I'm not even going to speak down on that, because that's just how people learn. They have to have it happen to them in order for them to learn from it. And unfortunately, that's a shame sometimes. Sometimes it's best to learn from others versus having it happen to you. But guys, let's jump into it. Microsoft just laid off 6,000 people this month. Many of you guys are going to say, oh, those are middle managers, Antoine. Those are, the low performers, Antoine. Those are the people who don't do any work. Those are the people who don't show up. Those are the people that just coast and, ghost quitted and quiet quitted and all that other stuff, right? Wrong. These were engineers. These were product managers. These were program managers. These were folks who thought they were safe. These were folks who've been into the workforce for 25 plus years. Gone in an instant. That's exactly what happened. Gone in an instant. Here's the parts that get the part that continues to get buried when you talk about the layoffs, and specifically when we talk about some of these bigger companies. Microsoft is just the start. Again and again and again. The layoff wave is turning into a full-blown avalanche in 2025. It's across tech, it's across finance, it's across manufacturing, even the government. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about the government, right? And you all know the headlines because companies like Microsoft, when they hit it, it's big. And then they say things like, oh, they're cutting managers to be nimble. Well, that's not the reality of it. The reality of it is that the majority of the recent cuts were software engineers, the people building the products, the people with the skill, the people with the skill, the people who literally sit down and use their brain and write code. Most of the cuts this time were software engineers. 817 were engineers in the state of Washington. And as they said it, these weren't performance cuts. These weren't the people who were low performers. These weren't the people who quiet quitted. Microsoft is changing their strategy. And this was all about strategy. If AI is writing 30% of the code now, and you are someone who's not adding any clear value, then companies are going to move on from you. That's why I always talk about, guys, sales. Why do I always talk about sales? Because it's very easy to see the value that you bring. The value that you bring in sales is black and white. You either bringing in revenue or you're not. It's simple. Or you're bringing in enough revenue to pay for your own salary or you're not. And if you're bringing in enough revenue to pay for your own salary and multiple people's salaries, then you are clearly adding value. It's just as simple as that. If you're able to keep a customer and you're able to make that customer happy and buy more from you in your company, then you're clearly adding value. But there's a lot of positions, especially on the software development and other positions, program management, product management, where there may not be a way for companies to really determine the value that you add. And it's hard to objectify that. So when companies have to make the decision, they go and ask the boy John down the street. They go and ask the manager up the street. They're going to ask your skip manager, what value does Johnson brings? And if you're not the type of person that does the things that we talked about, as far as having a brag book and clearly writing down all your wins and speaking about all your wins, then they're not going to know how much value you're bringing. So you're going to be one of the ones that ends up, quitting, fired, whatever you want to call it. Laid off. I read this story when this article came out about one of the engineers. It was a young female. Been with the company for about 7 years. Showed up to work in the Seattle office. Got a calendar invite around 11 a.m. By noon, she was on a group Zoom call, no video, muted, chat turned off. They made it very clear that they don't want to have anybody chatting and adding additional context to the message that was being said. Laid off on a call with 150 others. That's where we are right now. And it's not just about Microsoft. I'm going to show you guys a bigger picture here. It's not just Microsoft. It's a lot of other companies. Microsoft earlier in May announced 1,500 layoffs at the beginning of May. 1,500 in the Azure Cloud Group. Sprinkler, another tech company, got rid of 15% of their workforce, 500 people. Sonos, 200. Workday, 1,750. Blue Origin got rid of 1,000 engineers and program staff. Nike, 740 at the headquarters. Citigroup, 4,500 globally. PwC, 1,500. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, 83,000 planned cuts and 11,000 already opting out. Panasonic, 10,000 layoffs. Volvo, 6,000 layoffs. Nissan, UPS, 20,000 layoffs. This isn't just about tech. This is a shift on how companies are operating. And it's all about efficiency. It's all about AI. And it's all about cold numbers, guys. And here's the best. Well, here's another piece that I want you guys to understand too. A lot of people are going to say, I'm safe. I don't got to worry about that, Antoine. I've been in my company for a long time. I'm safe. Listen here, man. Listen here, young lady. I don't care how long you've been at your job. Nobody's safe. If you can't clearly show your value, your output, your impact, you are replaceable. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. And I don't like having these conversations to scare anybody. I don't like to have these conversations to scare anybody at all. I say it because I care enough about you all to tell you the truth. That's what it is. You can think that you are non-replaceable and you got it all figured out and your company is doing X, Y, Z and you are the person that everybody goes to and you're the subject matter expert. You are replaceable. You're replaceable. And I'm telling you that because I care about you. Companies like Microsoft, companies like Citigroup, companies like Workday, they're looking at performance and they're also looking at their strategy and they're trying to lean their teams out and they're trying to make sure that they want the latest and greatest technology, which is AI. And they know that if they can reduce their teams and their team members can leverage AI, they're going to reduce their cost. And that means that their profits will be bigger. That's it. It's that simple. So if you are someone who can't show the receipts, then you're in danger. You better document. We already talked about this last week. You better document. Document everything that you do. Let's get tactical for a quick second. I'm going to give you guys a game. Here's what you need to start doing today if you're not doing it. I'm telling you right now. Start documenting your wins. Don't wait until review season. If you save the company money, write it down. If you save the company time, write it down. If you brought in a new client, write it down. If you brought in new business, write it down. Learn how to quantify your value. Think like a CFO. Dollars saved, processes improved, output increased. Get skills, especially in AI. You have to be using AI right now. There are so many people, especially Gen X and baby boomers, who are so behind on this AI game that even if you spend 30 minutes a day learning a little bit more about AI and using the tools, you're going to be better, higher performing than the people who don't use it. You're going to be a better performer in your career, in your job, than the people who don't use it. So go ahead and get up to speed. Learn. Learn how it works in your role. Introduce other people. Explain to other people how it works in your role. Build on top of what other people are building using it. Don't fear it. Learn from it. I was just playing with Google just announced a new tool. I think it's called VEO. And it's a tool that allows for you to write a command and it shows you a video. So this past weekend, me and the family, spent some time in another destination in Texas. And we were in the pool and enjoying ourselves and so forth. And I was inside watching my wife and my son and my daughter swim. My wife was on the ledge of the hot tub and my daughter was in the pool and my son was on the ledge of the hot tub and they were all talking, looking at each other. And I was using this tool, Veo, to just test it. Test what it's about. Because it was announced a couple of days ago about how now you can prompt videos for marketers and for content creators. It literally can create a video. So I prompted a video of my wife, said she was from Wisconsin, said she was in her 40s. My son said he was 7 with the curly hair and biracial kid. And my daughter, another biracial girl with curly hair and a color bathing suit, and it literally created it. It created a video of them in a hot tub. You have to use AI. It is mind-blowing how this works and how it's coming out so fast and how much it is gives you opportunities to grow and make money and do all the things that you need to do. Potentially create a side hustle. Don't fear it. Learn it, learn from it, teach people it, use it. It's another way for you to make money. You know me, as a business owner, you know my website, www.blkheights.com, right? We do resume optimizations. We use LinkedIn. We do LinkedIn optimizations. We do cover letters. You don't need to be a full HR recruiter in order for you to help people with their resume. You got tools like AI that you can help people to make money to help optimize their resume and optimize their LinkedIn by giving it the right prompts. And it is better than a HR person who's been in the game for 30 years. That's what you can do. That's the power of AI. I'm going to show you the video that it created too. I'm going to show you guys. Because maybe many of you guys don't understand how powerful this is. But I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can get my window showing, my desktop capture going on real quick. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. My desktop capture, right? All right. Here's my desktop capture. Get rid of the echo. All right, I'm going to get rid of the echo. But what I did was I created a video I gave it a prompt. I said, create a realistic video of two biracial kids and their mom in a hot tub. One child, a 10-year-old girl, in the pool looking at mom with a slight sunburn on her face and a peachy brown skin. She has curly hair. The other child, a boy, in a hot tub wearing a black shirt and checkered shorts. He has curly hair on the top with a fade. Both kids are looking at mom, who is sitting in the hot tub. The mom is a white woman from Wisconsin, black hair, wearing black sunglasses. And they are talking about summer plans about going to Cancun, Mexico at a resort, right? This is what it created. Many of you guys don't know what my wife looks like, but it's very similar. It's very similar. This is literally what it created. Insane, right? This is insane. I'm like, holy crap. This is becoming insane. This is becoming insane. This is what you can do now with AI. This is what you can do now to create content. This is what you can do now to create images. You can use AI to be able to do that, which also gives you an opportunity to make a whole bunch of money, guys. Don't look at it as, oh, I'm afraid. Look at it as a way for you to level up. That's what AI is doing. The fourth skill, or the fourth thing that I would give you guys, because I want to get tactical, just ask your manager this question. Ask your manager this question. And my homeboy asked his manager this question too. What would it take for me to be seen as an exceptional this quarter? What would it take for me to be seen as exceptional this quarter? And then go do it. That's how you can do it. My fifth tip for you guys in this whole process is to keep your resume updated. Keep networking. More importantly, keep networking. Don't get too comfortable. You can't. You can't get too comfortable. You will be hurting if you get too comfortable. You're not going to leverage the people that you will ultimately need one day in life if you get too comfortable. You're going to sit around with the same people doing the same old thing. And then when life shakes up, then you're going to wish that you reached back into these people to help you out. Don't get too comfortable. Keep networking. Keep your resume updated. I'm going to jump over to the chats real quick before we go to the review. The video reactions. Odin Rada says this would be a great tool to transform books into movies. 100%. So what was interesting, Odin, is that my daughter, I gave him access to this tool because I wanted to show him, like, holy crap, right? So I gave my daughter and my son an opportunity to put a prompt in. My daughter put a nice little prompt in about a dragon and whatever it was. And, you know, next thing you know, that he came and blew all the people on fire. And next thing you know, the tornado came out of nowhere and just took everybody out, right? It literally created it. I had my son, who struggles to tell clear stories. He's like his dad was. I mean, like when I was growing up, guys, one of my weaknesses was just telling a clear story. I am not a storyteller. I am terrible at stories. I never wanted to be good at stories, but I understood that in sales, you got to be really good at stories. So I've been working on my storytelling. And this is part of my storytelling as well. But my son, he's very similar to me. When he tells the stories, he's very long-winded. He gets into the details about things that you don't even need to get to. Yeah. So we're working with him on how to do so. But anyway, he puts this prompt in. It's a long-winded prompt because that's how he just tells it in his head. And it comes out to be something that he didn't even think of, right? It wasn't what he was imagining, which tells you that his storytelling needs to get better. These are the things that you can use it for as well. But you're absolutely right, Odin. You can use it to create and transform books into movies. Okay? Odin says he's going to the other route. He's going with the Web3 and blockchain and Bitcoin. That's fine. You can go that route for sure. I mean, like, Web3 is going to be big eventually. You got AI creating everything. You got videos like this being created. Next thing you know, people are going to think this is real. Doesn't look like me. It doesn't look like my wife. Doesn't look like my kids. But people are potentially who don't know us probably think that's real. Okay? And what you will see then is that there's going to be a need for Web3. And things are going to be behind a closed firewall, or things going to have to be authenticated. I think that's the right place to be in, Odin. I think that's the right place to be in. Sasha says, that's exactly what happened to 2X Microsoft employees I knew. Everyone will get fired then rehired at lower wage with AI agent assistance. Ooh. And Sasha says, that's exactly what happened to 2X Microsoft employees that they knew. It happens, man. Yep. So guys, let's transform over. And I want you guys to get active. I see Odin over here chatting. He has all the chats in here. And I appreciate that, Odin. I see Sasha in here chatting. I see Jason in here chatting. I see R3D chatting. Guys, chat. Man, we have fun in here. Let's engage the comments. Let's have a good time. If you guys don't agree with me, feel free to not disagree with me. Or feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to do whatever, but let's have a conversation. I like to stimulate the conversation. Let's see if I'm off topic so that I can learn from you, or are you off topic? And let's have a chat about it. Let's have a debate about it in the chat. What I would also tell you is this, guys. Outside of the tactical tips, and before I jump into it, I want to remind you, document all your wins. That's more important. Learn how to qualify or quantify your value. Get skilled, especially with AI. Ask your manager what exceptional looks like this quarter, and then go do it, and stay ready. Okay? Understand whatever happens to you, if this happens to you, laid off, fired, or whatever you want to call it, you're not powerless. You're not powerless. You have plenty of opportunities ahead of you. If you're sitting on the sidelines hoping things to get better because of the government or anything like that, you're setting yourself up for failure. You have to go out there and do it. You have to go out there and execute. You have to be ready. Okay? All right. Let's jump into the reactions, because I talked about it. I talked about the layoffs, but I want you guys to hear from some of the other individuals. Let's jump into that right now.
Yep. I got laid off by Microsoft. You might have heard it on the news.
My name is Melissa, and I have recently been laid off.
Did anyone else get laid off from Microsoft today? No, just my husband.
I got laid off today.
Well, I recently lost my job after 2 years.
I got laid off from my corporate job last week that I've been at for 4 years.
Got laid off this morning.
I was laid off at 6 months pregnant.
The biggest thing about today's Microsoft layoffs is that they were not performance related. Entire teams were cut. We already had a round of performance related layoffs, so the people who are remaining and who are getting cut are people who are pretty high performers, including people who've been at the company for 15, 25 years. It's just eerie when you find out, like I was in the middle of a meeting with someone and I asked them a question and their face just fell and they said, I just got the dreaded email.
You're in a meeting with someone, right? You work for a company like Microsoft. You're talking to one of your homeboys, your homegirls, chatting. Next thing you know, they got the dreaded email. Face drop. You know how when somebody's distracted, they're not really engaging in the conversation. You over here like this, you over here talking, and they're looking right through you. Just imagine talking to somebody, and all of a sudden, your face just goes like this. And you're talking, and they're just, that's what happened, she says. That's exactly what happened. And she said it. It's not the people who are low performers. These are people that's been around the company for a very long time.
Did anyone else get laid off from Microsoft today? No, just my husband. Yeah, unfortunately, we had some surprise news this morning. There was a bunch of layoffs at Microsoft, and a lot of people in Seattle, Bellevue area did get laid off with severance packages, including him. So we now have a big decision to make, whether we stay here in the US or go back to Australia. It all depends on where he can find another job. If anyone has any job opportunities or contacts for, jobs in tech, in program management, coding, that kind of stuff, just hit me up in the comments, especially if it's here in the Seattle, Bellevue area, or even back in Australia, like in Sydney, Sunshine Coast, Brizzy. We're open.
Yeah.
She's out there advocating for her husband. That's a good wife right there. That is a good wife. She's talking about the layoffs, advocating for her husband. Has a beautiful accent. Good looking lady, good looking wife. Husband, program management, software development, laid off. Been with the company for a long time. Moved the entire family from Australia to Seattle area, the Bellevue area. Laid off. Now, they're open to opportunities inside of the United States. She's advocating for it. Or back at home in Australia. This is what's happening, guys. This is the reality of what people are going through. Listen to some more.
In Sydney, Sunshine Coast, Brizzy, we're open.
Yeah, I got laid off my job. And the shittiest part is that, I'm in HR. So it really feels like a breakup. It's kind of like that breakup where, everybody knew he was cheating on you. And they just all came and sat you down. So, yeah. And it really sucks because I actually liked this job. I liked it a lot.
Well,
Let's go to let's talk about her. She's a pretty young girl. She said something. Right on cue, Billy Rowe. Billy says the layoff game is not new. The signs are always there if you are paying attention. It will always come down to your network inside and outside of the company. So listen to what she just said. She said she's in HR. She kind of knew this would happen. Kind of like that boyfriend who was cheating on you and everybody was telling you that he was cheating on you. But you still continued on and with it without looking out and preparing yourself and doing all the things that you probably should be doing and things that we are telling you to do ahead of time. Have a little fun outside of work. Have a hobby, create a hobby. Try to create additional streams of income. Have a savings. Financially, be responsible. Don't put a whole bunch of stuff on your credit card. All the stuff that we've been saying, she's basically saying, I ignored it. I ignored it. And then when it happens, it's sad. Then you're on TikTok creating videos like this, drinking a glass of wine, and it hurts. It sucks because now you got to think about all the other things that you don't have. You're not going to have insurance. You don't know what another job is going to come from. So she's going to do it right now, sipping on her nice glass of wine. Hopefully she built herself up a nice strong network that she can tap into. It's important, guys. These stories are hitting home, and it's hitting too often. And you see it's happening in HR. And you know HR gets accused from everybody. Like Billy Rose says, especially in HR. Let's continue on.
Well, I recently lost my job after 2 years at a logistical company doing their data analytics. On Thursday, they called and I knew exactly what was going on. And that was it. They said, ship back the equipment and good luck. I did small severance because it's only, 2 years long. Since we're a single income family, now we have like no income coming in. And like we were living paycheck to paycheck, does anybody know like what to do? We're going through the motions of, filing for unemployment and, doing that stuff. And I'm going to start teaching music, which is something I wanted to do, but I know it's not going to be it's not going to be enough. And there's so many people that have it worse than me. I know a lot of people are like, well, it could always be worse. You could, getting bombed. And I get it. It could be a lot worse. I get it. It does, but it doesn't make it any less hard. Get up, go to work, come home. Kids, And I work from home, and it's like more like work, kids, and like back and forth.
It's tough to be a man. I'll tell you like this, guys. Especially it's tough to be a man that's going to provide for his family. I get where this man is coming from. This man looked tired, man. He works in the logistics industry that I love near and dear to my heart. And I've been in for the majority of my career. Supply chain and logistics. He gets up every single day and goes to work, provide for his family. And they are a one income household, meaning he works. His wife takes care of the kids, right? He works from home. So he gets up, he hears the kids. He works, he hears the kids. He comes back home. If he even leaves the home, he hears the kids. So for him, it's work, kids, work, kids, work, kids, work, kids. And depending on the relationship that he has with his wife and how they have their situations figured out, that can be draining. Question for you guys. I'm talking about this personal piece. If I hadn't even talked about his job stuff yet. What should this man be doing? What should this man should have been doing? He said right now he's potentially going to teach music. But I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What could this man be doing? What should he have been doing? Let me know in the chat. You guys are smart. He wants to teach music. Should he have been teaching music before? He said he's not going to bring in enough income. How's he going to handle this now that he's been laid off? He said he's going to apply for unemployment. What else should he be doing? Let me know in the chat, guys. Odin says, yep. Lots of truck companies shutting down for a while now. True. A lot of trucking companies have gone out of business. There's a freight recession. There's a job recession as well, too. There's an employment recession as well, too. But this man looked tired, man. I feel for him. Look at his face. He is tired. It's hard to be a man. It's hard to be a man that's providing for his family. It's the hardest job, but the most rewarding job as well. Because you're not doing it for yourself. Half of the time, you don't even like the people that you're working with. You don't even like your job a lot of the times. But you have to get up every single day because you're doing it for the others. You're doing it for the future of your kids. You're doing it for the future of your wife. It sucks sometimes. That's why it's also good to do things a little bit different. Because the way that he's doing it isn't working anymore, man. The way that they've told us to do it isn't working anymore. Go to work 60 hours a week, climb the corporate ladder, get to the money, become a VP, be loyal. That's not how it's working. Go to college. That's not how it's working. That's not what it's getting you. It's not getting you anything. Cost of living is continuing to skyrocket. Wages aren't going up. Oh, work a little bit harder. Work more hours. That's what they tell you to do, right? You're killing yourself. You don't have the energy to do anything with your kids when you come home. Your kids want to play football. Your kids want to play basketball. Your kids want to play baseball. You don't even have time to take them to practice. You don't even have time to take them to games. Next thing you know, you got another man or another woman that's coaching your kids. They have the genes to be potential star athletes. But they don't get the game from dad, or they don't get the game from the right people. They're influenced by a whole bunch of knuckleheads. Things start to go south. And it's all because of the choices that we make in our careers a lot of the times. Or if we have too many kids, or if we choose to get married. Going back to Stevenson. Stevenson says he needs to book a coaching session ASAP. You are right. I love it, Stevenson. I love it, man. You are absolutely right, though. He needs to book a coaching session. Agreed. Oh, let's continue on.
But there's a lot more people out there that have it worse than me, but
Laid off from my corporate job last week that I've been at for 4 years, and I wanted to make a video talking about it just because I know a lot of other people are going through this as well. At first I was really embarrassed, but there's nothing to be embarrassed about because the economy and the job market and everything is just really crazy right now. It was wild. I was in the office and they said your last day's tomorrow, pack it up, send your laptop back. I know I didn't post a lot about my 9 to 5 on here, but I would do like little videos in the office and bring Poppy to my coworkers and show my outfits and work events. I just wanted to be transparent with you guys.
28 years ago, I started in this building as a contractor, and I know a lot of you guys want story time as to the last video. Listen, I don't want to leave. I like my job here. I'm gonna miss my friends. I've said goodbye to everybody today. This is officially my last day at Microsoft, and doing the old tour around to some buildings I used to work at, and saying goodbye to people. But this is where it started. This is where it's gonna end. I do want to say, I know a lot of people think I have ill will or I'm angry. I'm just sad. I like working for Microsoft. I get it's a big corporation and they can only do what they can do. But I want to thank them for all they've done for me over the years. I really have enjoyed working here and I'm going to miss it an awful lot. So everybody that has all those weird comments in the last one, they really are a good company. I don't like how this is ending, but.
And I was not going to make a video about this. I wasn't sure that I was going to publicly talk about this, but because we are in 2025 and there is this great layoff movement that is happening and people are going through this every single day, I wanted to come on here and say a couple of things. First things first, if you do not feel secure in your job and if you are afraid of being laid off, trust your discernment. Honey, be prepared. Last year, I recognized that my services were no longer needed within this company. So when the layoff word started being passed around in early 2025, I wholeheartedly believed that my job was going to be at the top of the list of being eliminated. And today, I found out that I was not wrong. So I'll say it again. Step one, if you feel even the teensiest bit of insecurity in that job, believe it. Trust your gut and start preparing. How do you prepare? Get that resume together. Get that resume together. If you are able,
what we talked about, get that resume together.
Able to hire yourself a career coach, do that also. Prepare yourself. If it's been a while since you've been in the job force and you've actually had to look for a job like myself, you need somebody to help teach you how to interview. Guess what? Cover letters, they're coming back. They're making a comeback. You got to learn how to write a cover letter. You got to learn how to write a cover letter, sis. Okay? You're going to need somebody to help teach you how to do that. You need a resume update. You need to learn how to write a cover letter. You need some career coaching. Okay?
Stevenson, well, you nailed that one right there. She just said it. Book a coaching call ASAP. If you guys are struggling with any of this sort of stuff because it has happened to you, go ahead and book a coaching session with us. www.bokheights.com. We are helping people. And our services aren't that expensive. We're available. Your peers are booking calls. Our calls have shot up a significant amount over the last 7 weeks. It's been insane. This is ways that you can grow your side business as well. By talking about these things and talking about how you can help people, having a company where you can actually help people, having the experts in your corner where that you can help people and they can help people. And this is how you can make additional income. And you can do it on the side. It's a holiday. It's 6 p.m. Even if it wasn't a holiday, I do this after work. This is retirement. This is a retirement strategy. You can be doing the exact same thing, guys. He said it though. Anytime you feel there's a bit of an insecurity about your company and the situation that you're in, Billy Rose said it as well too. Don't just sit there waiting. Put a plan in place. If you need help on putting a plan in place, ask AI to help build you a plan because of your feelings. AI will even help you with that. Say, I feel that my job is no longer valuable to the company I work for, and I feel like I'm going to go do layoffs. Here's a prompt. What should I be doing right now? Help me build a plan so that I can put a plan in place and execute on that plan before the layoffs actually happen. That's a prompt. That's a prompt. You can enter that in ChatGPT. You can enter that in Grok. You can enter that in Claude. You can enter that in Gemini. It's going to give you a plan. Here's a piece of it too. Odin says, AI writes great cover letters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But do what she says. Book a coaching call with us. www.bokheights.com.
Also, look into looking at recruiting firms. Find what's out there. LinkedIn will not get you where you want to go. Google will not get you where you want to go. Know what industry that you want to work in and start there.
So they just laid me off just now. Like I literally just left. And I'm glad they weren't assholes and made me work all day. I'm glad that they just got it over with. But I met some really amazing people there. Like, I'm gonna miss the people that I worked with. But I'm like, I don't know what's next for me. Because this is where, for once, this is where I really wanted to stay long term. Like usually, like when I go places, I already have the intention to leave. And I don't really connect with people. And this was the first place that I learned how to connect with my team and to really be involved with them in their life and to share who I am, the real me, with them. And so I guess that's what I take from it. It fulfilled its purpose, right? But
didn't really hit me until now because my coworkers started messaging me. I lost my appetite after that. I still haven't had a call with my manager yet, but my biggest takeaway is don't let your job work you. What's even more messed up is they laid me off right before rewards and bonus season. And also they're deducting my severance pay from like 2 weeks or something, so I'm really not even getting that much severance. And yes, I work at a big tech company. You can probably guess where I got laid off from. Also, they laid me off at the beginning of my vacation as I took off, so I have my severance package, but I can't receive it until I return the laptop, the corporate card, that stuff. But how am I supposed to do that? And I lose access to any work-related information this week. And I'm not in New York. Corporate America really gives zero shits about you. They worked me to the bones for a high-value client and then just got rid of me. So, yeah.
She said it, guys. She said a lot. Corporate works you hard, high value client. You are on vacation. You come back from vacation. Time to go. Time to go. Decisions can be made when you're on vacation. It's time for you to go. Severance, depending on what they want to give you and how long you've been at the company, that can be a struggle to get as well. But you should know the law. You should know the law, and you should consult with somebody whenever you are going through something like this. And you should know your rights. Don't just sign it. Don't just sign paperwork. Read through it, understand it, even if you need to dump it in AI. Ask it questions. Ask for more. These are all the things that you should be doing. But she's telling you right now, pretty young lady. She is a beautiful young girl, and she says she's been working hard. They worked her hard. Let her go. She hadn't even talked to her manager yet. She knew it was happening. Emma says, I just graduated MIS degree. I remember looking for more information in this degree, and I came across your channel. Immediately subscribed. I appreciate that, man. I'll let my manager know. Now they are moving me internally. Emma I'm going to put it like this. You don't want to shake any boats if you just graduated. You don't want to shake any boats if you just graduated. Do your job. What you need to be doing right now as a fresh graduate is understanding what good looks like. Building a skill. Don't start asking for a whole bunch of stuff and you haven't put in the work. Learn how to document your small wins. All the things that we talked about earlier in this video. Learn how to document those small wins. Document every bit of it. Learn what good looks like. Ask the question, what's going to make me an exceptional employee? Go out there and execute. Build a network. Continue to reach out to individuals at your company because they're going to go to other companies one day. And if you have a great relationship with them, they may pull you along. Or if they go and there's an opportunity for you and you want to go or you need to go, you can reach back out to those individuals. Those are the things that you need to be doing right now. Don't go out there and start shaking up the boat because you are a new, fresh graduate having a job right now and you're hearing this video and you're hearing us talk about things that you need to be prepared for later on in life. Don't go shaking up the boat. You don't want to do that. Danny says, this setback isn't your ending. It's your reset. Show the world what you're made of. Opportunities out there, go get it. Absolutely, Danny. I love the positive mindset. That's the fantastic mindset. That's the thing also, guys, is that these situations will happen to you. These are opportunities for you to reset. These are opportunities for you to really put it in the high gear. And thinking about, okay, well, you know what? I put all my eggs in the basket on this thing. And next, you know, it happened to me. I need to be listening to what Antoine's saying and go out there and have me a little side business or, you know, use the knowledge that I have to help other people to make even more money. Risk. Go out there and do it. Billy Rose says, stay in touch with recruiters that reach out to you. Yes. A lot of the times when recruiters send us messages, we ghost them. We don't even pick up a lot of the times. I am notorious for that. A recruiter will send me a message. Next thing you know, I'm like, I don't even respond. Next thing you know, they send me like 2 or 3 messages. It's bad. But you don't need to be doing that. You need to be answering the recruiters. Even if you're not interested at that point in time, answer, because you never know. That conversation that you have could be and help develop a mutual respect for each other where they can reach out to you for something else that comes along. Okay? Ant Dog says she's a cutie. She is. She's a pretty young woman. Let's continue on.
Yep, I got laid off by Microsoft. You might have heard it on the news. Microsoft lays off 7,000 people. I'm one of them. All right, so boom. It's a regular Tuesday morning. I wake up, do what I need to do, open up my laptop. Now, I open up my laptop and I see a meeting with my manager and my skip manager. I'm like, all right, cool. I get in this meeting. My manager says, we're so sorry. What you sorry about? What's going on? Come to find out, your boy just been laid off. Not just me, but my entire team. My entire team. Just gone, like boom. Now, of course, hearing this news, I was shocked. But I was kind of happy. To be honest, in my head, what was going on was like, so I don't have to work today? Thank God, I'm going back to bed. But then it hit me for real. Then I was like, oh shoot.
I got laid off this morning.
Today is day 1 of me being unemployed since I got laid off last week. For the second time this year, I feel numb to the whole situation. I'm just starting my career out. I have not left any of my past jobs by choice or based on my own performance. Like, done great at my jobs. I'm a good employee. It's frustrating to kind of get that result in the end. I feel like a lot of people are experiencing layoffs now. The economy, I've heard, is not great based on the reasons I've been laid off. If you've experienced a layoff, please know you're not alone.
Hey man, somebody who's new to the workforce. Somebody who's new to the workforce, just like Amaras. Somebody who's new to the workforce. Okay? And it's happening. They see that the job market is not as good. He's been laid off twice, and he hasn't left any job because of by choice. He's been laid off twice as a new grad. Somebody that's new to the workforce. It's happening all over the board, guys. I want to know from you guys in the chat. Okay? You know, we got these numbers out here. Government giving us numbers about, you know, how unemployment is low. Do you think that there's a big miss? You know how last year when unemployment numbers had to be adjusted by the end of the year and it was off by like almost like 100,000? Are we in a employment recession right now? I mean, like, you see these videos constant, and this is typically how I see it as far as when content is created. The content is created, and then about 6 months, reality happens. Meaning that the big time media then starts to talk about it even in more and more and more and more. For instance, give you guys an example. Platforms like YouTube, they're ahead. Content creators on YouTube are ahead of a lot of things before it becomes mainstream. Red Pill community, all that sort of stuff was out. I'm talking about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. Right. And then it became mainstream over the last 2, 3, 4 years. Right. Same exact thing happens in the news cycles and all this other stuff. These smaller content creators are the ones that, you know, creates it and puts the information out there. And a lot of times it's then picked up years or whatever it is later by the big box. Right. Are we talking about this now? And then as we are living it, we know that it's happening. But big time media isn't saying what's really happening. What's your guys' opinion on that? I want to know. Are we in a recession at this point in time? Are the numbers that the government's given us from an unemployment standpoint wrong? Let me know what you guys think. I want to know that. Explain that to me. Put it in the chat, in the comment section below. If you guys are watching this video and it's not live, okay? Put it in the comment section below.
I was supposed to have the day off. The whole company was supposed to be off. I get a phone call from my boss and she goes, I need you to check your email. The sales director wants to have a meeting with you. I'm like, okay, like I'll go check my email. Like, I'm at home, it's fine. So I have a meeting invite from the sales director titled Meeting with HR. HR! Like, everyone who is in the corporate world knows that it's never a good thing when you have a meeting with HR, because it normally only means one thing, and it normally means that you're losing your job. So I get ready for this call. I go put my makeup on, go put on my mascara, because I know I'm probably gonna have my camera on. And what do you know? They say, we're gonna eliminate your position. We are trying to save money. Yada, yada, yada. And they go through all this stuff that you're never gonna remember, because like your life just changed like within the blink of an eye. And the crazy thing is that my boss like didn't even know that this was happening. Like, when she called me, I called her back and I was like, what's the issue? Like, I see HR is on this meeting. And she's like, I don't know, like, I'll drive home for this meeting. So then I just have to, like, you have to sit there, like, with your camera on after they just delivered, like, the worst news ever. Like,
She said something that I want you guys to listen to as well. A lot of the times when these big corporations are going through these rounds of layoffs, you would think that your manager would know. A lot of the times they don't. They could be put in a situation where they are a high performing team and they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different high performers on the team. And they have to make a choice. And they have to get rid of somebody. Or somebody has to make that choice for them. Because they don't want to have to make that choice. And they may not know. In her situation, she's just saying that her manager didn't know. Her manager didn't know. That's hard. That's hard. So a lot of times we go back there and say, oh, man, it's our manager, and we get all upset with our manager. But sometimes they're not the ones that's making the decision. Sometimes that decision is just made without management involvement. And that's what happened at Microsoft. I know. A lot of people at Microsoft, that's what happened. People just got laid off. And a lot of the managers had no idea. Let's continue on.
I got laid off.
I was laid off at 6 months pregnant. Yes, you heard that right. 6 months pregnant. You know, the same song, same dance. If you were in corporate, if you're in tech, if you're in sales, it's like you can't even take it personal. But I took it personally because my job knew that I was expecting and that I was further along. So, you know, first thing that came to my mind was, ooh, I'm going to lose my paid maternity leave. Wait, I'm not getting paid at all anymore. I didn't cry. I didn't ask why.
For a fact that.
Let me go back to the pretty girl. She's a beautiful girl. Now she has to worry about things like she doesn't get the maternity leave. She doesn't get paid for that right now. She has to worry about insurance for a newborn or for a baby that she's having. She doesn't have the insurance like that. These are all things that impact people's lives when these kind of things happen. Depending on her husband's situation, hopefully she got it and she has a husband who's, worth a darn and willing to put in the work and has a job that they can switch the insurance over or whatever the situation may be. Because she needs it. She needs it. I mean, it's tough. It's tough for people out there. Jason says, yes, we are in a recession. It's not being said out loud to prevent mass panic. That's his opinion. I'm not far off on that, Jason. I'm not far off on that. I want to know what the rest of you guys think too. But let's continue on.
All anymore. I didn't cry. I didn't ask why.
For a fact that a lot of the job postings on LinkedIn are fake, because I interviewed for a job back in October when I still had my job, because I was like, you know what, the recruiter reached out to me, doesn't hurt to take an interview. And I didn't end up moving forward in the interview process, which is fine, but they're still reposting that role today. Okay. So I interviewed for that in October. It is now almost June. So you're telling me in 8 months of reposting and reposting and reposting and reposting the role on LinkedIn, probably thousands of applicants and several dozen interviews, you haven't found a single person who's qualified for the job out of tons of qualified applicants on the job market right now? I'm not buying that at all. And now that I am on the job market, I'm seeing this happen with so many other positions where the same roles get reposted. Like, keep in mind now, most applications will get probably 400 to 500 applicants within a day or two. So if you're reposting it multiple times, that's thousands of people who are coming through the pipeline and not a single one gets hired. I genuinely don't understand why companies do this. I've heard that sometimes it's just to show their board or their investors that they're hiring and they're growing when actually they're not. I've also heard of instances where candidates will go all the way through the case study, the assignment round, and then they don't end up getting hired. So people assume that was to kind of steal free labor from candidates who are looking for jobs. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, because you see product designers or software engineers who end up having to do assignments for different job interviews and then get ghosted after their presentation, and people will say that they did end up using their work. So I'm sure there's a lot of that happening too.
That's a very good point that she made there, guys. You think about the companies right now who are out there and trying to prove to Wall Street that they're growing, or trying to prove to another private equity company that is thinking about buying them, or trying to prove it to, their board that they're growing. What is the way to do that? Have job postings out there. What is it to do to tell your employees a white lie? Have job postings out there, knowing damn well that you're not really hiring for this role. You just keep reposting the same exact thing, getting a whole bunch of candidates through it, but you're not hiring people at all. That's what she's saying is happening at these companies right now. That sucks if that was the case. If companies are doing that, that sucks. You know they're playing a game. Therefore, you should be playing a game as well, too. She's saying that she's seeing the same job after it has hundreds and thousands of applications, that they continue to repost the job and not hire for that role. And you know what it is. They're gathering a whole bunch of data. They're using that data for whatever they're using it for. And they're telling people, potentially their stakeholders, that they're growing and they're hiring and they're continuing to hire, but they aren't doing it. That was an interesting one right there. That's something that companies, I'm not surprised that they would do that. Not surprised at all. Wow. Let's listen to this last one.
Life as an American citizen is a constant uphill battle. We're just swimming upstream against the current every day in this country. Anytime you try to progress forward in some area of your life, you get shoved right back where you started because of something that is happening in this country that is outside of your control. For example, you get a raise at work and that raise doesn't matter because your rent's gone up, your car insurance has increased substantially, your groceries cost more, everything is expensive. So all that raise did was cover the inflationary burden that we are constantly under as American citizens. You don't have more money now. Your life isn't better for it. You can't do more with that money because your bills have gone up. You try to get your health under control, so you're eating clean, you're drinking your water, you're taking your supplements, you're eliminating toxins, and you still get sick because there's pesticides all over your vegetables, because the water you drink is polluted, the air you're breathing is polluted, because there's carcinogens in your shampoo and your lotions and your blanket fabrics. You try to do something about your mental health to improve it, try to better yourself as a person. So you're going to therapy every week and you're reading the books and you're, listening to the mental health podcasts. And yet your mental health is still in the shitter because you're in survival mode all the time because you're under chronic stress from financial strain, or from the anxiety of all of the things that are happening almost every day in this country. It's 2 steps forward and 2 steps back all of the time. You try to pursue something to improve your life, and America as an ideology is like, nope, and shoves you right back where you started. And this isn't negative or pessimistic thinking. This is the reality of being an American citizen today. I mean, how many of you out there are making more money today than you have ever made in your entire life? And you are doing worse financially than you were 10 years ago, or at the very least doing the exact same financially. It's like the only reason that we're pursuing anything now is just so that our life doesn't get worse. This is what we mean by the American dream is dead, because trying to pursue anything to make your life better doesn't make your life better. It either makes your life exactly the same, or it's just a little less shitty than it would be if you had done nothing. The idea of a good life in this country is so elusive to the average American citizen. It is constantly moving further and further away from us, and we have to keep running faster and faster just to get close enough, but we'll never actually catch it. And the only reason that we're running towards it now is because the further away it gets, the worse our life gets. So we're running just so that our life won't get worse. You know, the other day my son asked me, I don't understand Trump, Mom. Why wouldn't a president want his people to be doing better? And I had to explain to him that this is the nature of a narcissist.
I want to break this one down. You know what? I'm not even going to. I want to get your guys' opinion on that one. She said a lot. She was captivating. So I had to listen to her. She said a lot. But the first thing that comes to mind is victim. I'm sorry, guys. The first thing that comes to mind is, oh gosh, this is another version of a victim mentality. You can't get ahead because every time you take a step forward, you knock down 2 steps back. Life is better in the past. Life was better in the past. Now, the reality of it may be true for some people, but I would raise my hand right now and say I'm making more money than I have in earlier years. A lot earlier years. I'm making more money now than I have in the past. That's why I have something to look forward to. That's why I wake up every single day to do the things that I do. That's why I get on this platform to do the things I do as well, too. But this sounds like a victim mentality to me. I'm sorry. And then she used a political standpoint. I don't want to get into the whole politics situation, but God darn. No matter what president, you got to get to the money. No matter who's in office, you got to get to the money. Stop all this who's at fault for any of this sort of stuff. Get to the money. You get to the money by thinking strategic. What skills do I need that the market can use that will pay me what I'm worth? And you go that direction. I don't care if it's going into the military. You go that direction. More than a matter of fact, the people who go in the military, they end up in a good situation because they went into the military. I don't know. You guys tell me. She was very captivating, but that really sounded like a bit of a victim mentality to me. I don't know. You guys let me know. These are the conversations I love to have with you guys. These are the conversations I love to have with you guys. You got to have something to look forward to. And it's not just saying that if you march forward, you're going to get knocked down. That's not it. No, you have to march forward doing the right things. You have to march forward being strategic about the steps that you take. You don't just take a step blindly and follow everybody else. That's not it. All right, let me jump over to the chat. Odin says, everything is going up, wages down. Yeah, true. NC Worker says, get work even and get it to see it, NC Worker. Sammy says, this is so messed up in France. You can't fire a pregnant woman from the time she told your employer that until now she is back from maternity leave. About 4 months total for the first child. You know what? France has better rights for its employees than Americans. It's just what it is. It's true. That sucks. But that's what happened to her. It sucks, man. Job posters are used to suppress the wage of current employees, Odin says. NT Worker says, yes, we are in a recession. It's shown and not being said. What is scary? Yep. Ant Dog says, he's laughing, man. Keep Content says, long time. I learned how you sprout and grow food from seed. I live in a city and still can pull it off. Now I get about 7 pounds of veggies and sprouts a week, and green costs 25 cents a day. Look at that. He's a smart man. Keith says he's making it happen no matter what, saving all kinds of money by doing it the organic way. Keith says you got to learn skills to avoid costs. Danny says, boss man, you ever notice how even getting hired as a janitor feels like applying for the FBI these days? Even the side hustlers out here acting like they're Fortune 500 companies. Is that how it is, Danny? Is that how it is, man? I don't know. Danny. I put it like this. That's not what I'm seeing. When I hire my folks for this channel, it's kind of easy. NC Worker says, I don't think it's all Trump's fault, but I do believe he has, at times, enabled some things. However, with that being said, it's everyone's own self-responsibility to get more money and more knowledge. NC Worker, I agree with that. You're a smart lady. Smart. Keep Conte says, learn solutions and get out of the victimhood. Network with people who are like-minded. Stay away from the drama. True. Odin says, minimum wage, maximum effort. Yep. Danny says, some job posts are like clickbait. Staffing agencies collecting resumes for future use, not real openings. It's interesting, right? It's interesting. But guys, you've heard what's going on with the whole layoffs. This is just what's going on with the layoffs. The layoffs are bad. It's terrible. And it's hitting every single industry. And people have talked about it. We just went through the whole Microsoft situation, and you heard what they had to say, and then you heard what this lady on her rant had to say, but that's just what it is right now. And most people do feel like we are in a recession. And everybody's scared to talk about it because they don't want to cause mass panic. Okay? But let's talk about this. What happens when you make the wrong decisions because of your financial situation? You not choosing the right career. You deciding that you want to be a victim and continue to do the same things that you've been doing before, which is not working. That's the challenge that I have with a lot of people sometimes, is that they continue to do the same thing that they've been doing that hasn't worked in 5 years, 10 years, 12 years. They don't make a switch. They don't make a pivot. That's the challenge. That's why people also call them victims as well, too. Because you're talking about the same shit that you've been talking about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years, 5 years ago. What have you tried? And if you tried, have you committed? Have you stuck to it? Have you really went all in? Well, what happens when you leverage credit cards to spend, to go on vacation, to take your family on vacation, to buy makeup, to start your business? Well, what happens is those are bad decisions will ultimately end up getting you sued. And now what's happening right now is people who thought they were going to have jobs, who went to college and got those degrees and had those credit cards to pay off all of that student debt or the books or their room and board or whatever it is. Credit card companies are coming back to get them now. They're saying they want my money. They want my money. I want my money. This is what's happening right now. I'm going to tune you guys into this one. We're going to do a reaction to it. I want you guys to be active on this one, guys. It's important. It all plays into it. Your career and the decisions that you make ultimately impacts your financial stability. And if you're going to put in a whole bunch of credit card debt and you don't have a high paying job to pay it off, you are in a whole bunch of trouble. And let's listen to some of the people that are in a whole bunch of trouble right now.
Papers right here are my summoning to court for my lawsuit. So I'm getting sued by a credit card company.
All sued me for a credit card that you gave me 10 years ago, and you gave me a $10,000 credit limit at 21 years old.
Yeah, I ignored a debt collector and they sent it to a law firm to sue me.
Get ready with me to go and get
sued.
Papers right here are my summoning to court for my lawsuit. Update on how I'm being sued. Okay, so I'm gonna say the credit card. I signed up for a credit card and it helped me at the time, but screwed me over now. So I'm gonna do like a whole story time on this, but basically at the time where I was moving out, I had to pay a lot of money in taxes because of my old job, which love that. The government took a lot of money from me because of unemployment, but was wrongfully taken. It's a long story. Basically, I had nothing but a credit card to my name as far as money, financially, and I also had to move out 3 days after. Basically, I signed up for the credit card so I could have, food, a living, like items I could live off of. All the money that I had on that credit card that wasn't really mine because it's a credit card, I used to pay first month's rent and then the other thing you pay. So basically, I had no money. And I'm a person that hates to ask for help, which after moving out and losing everything money-wise, I've learned to grow into being okay with asking for help. So I was basically in a lot of debt at this point, and I was just like in between jobs, working 2 jobs at one point, and I am very irresponsible with money, so I was like, okay, I can always just pay the credit card whenever I get like a large sum of money. I only had like a limit of $400, so I was like, okay, $400, I can pay this whenever, and I'll next week turn into next month, and then next year, and then now we're here where I'm being sued by. And whenever they would call, I would get so anxious because one, I hate phone calls, like they make me so uncomfortable. So whenever they would call, I'm like, oh God, they're here to get me, blah, 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 blah. Let me just not answer because that's like the best answer, which it's not. So if you're ever in this situation, just answer the phone. And I'm still, just answer the phone. They're just trying to get their money and they're not trying to like get to this point. Really what happened was they went to my mom's house and gave her the letter because my address was there when I signed up for the card. And like this whole week I've been panicking because I'm like, well, I gotta go to court. I don't know how the hell to go about doing that at all. But yesterday I went to my mom's house and was trying to work things out. I called like 4 different places to try to like figure out how to do this because I've never been in this situation. And I was panicking, and then I finally just called the number. Luckily, I was able to do a settlement plan. I just kind of had to pay the money off, and they're gonna give me, I have up to 6 months to pay it off, which I'm not gonna let it get to that point. And me recording this video will hold me accountable. So it was a big, huge weight lifted off my shoulder. I don't have to end up going to court unless I don't pay it, which is so relieving. But yeah, so update on that. Thank you anyone that left nice comments and supported me even just in real life. I really appreciate it. Cause I was going over that paper, the cost and the cost of a lawyer and everything. I'm just like, I'm already getting sued for more money that I don't have. How am I going to pay for the suit? It didn't make sense. Definitely a lesson learned. Please make sure to pay off your credit cards on time and don't sign up for one and don't live outside of your means. Anyways, chef's kiss.
Odin, man. I'm just going to keep it at that comment right here. Odin says, to be fair, these people do not appear mentally stable enough to make good decisions. Odin, you're a real one for that one. You're a real one. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I mean, like, people have found themselves in credit card debt. And it's typically because they made bad decisions. Now, I got to say, you know what? Let's just put it back to myself. I was in college, right? Needed some room and board, went to Florida Atlantic my first year, and I racked up some credit card debt because of the fact that I needed money, right? But it got paid off. It got paid off. My mom helped me to pay it off, and I had a job that helped me to pay it off. That's responsibility. A lot of the times people forget that they have to own up to their responsibilities. And $400 ain't a lot of money. You gotta figure out how you can actually pay that off. You can't let that get out of hand. But if you come on TikTok and you make videos like this, your decision making is pretty terrible. If this is the kind of videos that you make and you're talking about your credit card debt, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on as well too. Yeah, you ain't just talking about. Or maybe you do make more videos on that kind of sort of stuff, and I need to go dive a little bit deeper. But you're on video, you're on TikTok talking about credit card debt and the decisions that you made, and you're holding yourself accountable to get it paid off, and you've been sued and so forth. What else is coming? If these are the types of videos that you make. Am I off here, guys? Am I off here? Ant Dog says, what the heck is going on here? Jason says, mic drop. Odin says, 25% interest rates, no joke, but a great way to build credit. Having a credit card is a great way to build credit. But don't use it. Keep it open for a very long time. Pay it off right away if you're going to use it. There's other ways to build credit too. This decision making right here is questionable. But anyway, let's continue on.
Get ready with me to go and get sued. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting at my house when a lovely police officer came over and served me papers and let me know that I was being sued and had to make an appearance in court. I'm like, okay, this is a prank. I'm actually being sued. Come to find out, I am being sued for a credit card that I had when I was like 18 years old, 6 or 7 years ago. And these heifers are suing me all this time later, but let me explain. So when I was a struggling college student, I was going to school probably 35 hours a week and then working on the days that I didn't have school. So I took out a credit card to help me pay for food and gas and things. And then life happened. I've had 2 kids since then. This credit card is literally in my maiden name. And I'm gonna be so for real with y'all. I forgot that this credit card even existed. I just completely forgot about it and stopped making payments on it. I am aware that this is 100% my fault. But hey, we've all been young and dumb before. Lordy Morty, I think even at 26 or almost 26, I'm still young and dumb. So if you are a struggling college student or struggling in general and you decide you want to borrow some money, this is your sign to always pay it back, because one way or another, those crazy little sneaky little brown nosers are going to catch up to you. They're going to expect you to pay up.
How about take some accountability? Young and dumb. People use that all the time as an excuse. I didn't have that benefit to be called young and dumb. I had to figure it out. I was just having the conversation with my homeboys about this. I went out to college when I was 17, guys. Went to another state. I left Wisconsin to get away. And I was all by myself. I had to make new friends. My father was in town. Wanted to build that relationship with him because we weren't close. Ended up having a roommate that was and still is my dog, and ended up meeting some good brothers who were part of our little suite that we had that are still my boys. And I just saw them this weekend. And we bonded all because of the fact that we didn't have fathers that grew up in the house with us. But also we were athletes and we played sports and we liked sports and we were just good guys. One of the things that we talked about is the responsibilities. One of my homeboys, he left Jacksonville. He came down all the way to South Florida. One of my homeboys, he was from South Florida and he moved up. And one of my homeboys was from another part. He was from Kissimmee. We did what we had to do in order for us to graduate. Some of us probably had gotten on academic probation, had to move off campus. But either way, we did what we had to do in order for us to become successful. And part of that is if we took out credit cards, that's paying it back. And at 25, I'm sorry, especially as black men, you don't get that opportunity to be young and dumb, especially if you're coming from nothing. You don't get that opportunity to be young and dumb. You got to figure it out. And sometimes, you know what? Because I hear the stories of some of the kids who grew up in 2-parent households, right? And they're 21 and still haven't figured out. 22, 23, 24, 25. It's getting later for these people to figure shit out. They're in their 30s and still haven't figured it out. And a lot of people say, just give them grace. Guys don't get their stuff figured out until they're in their 30s. Maybe in this day and age, but I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that. Get your stuff figured out. When you're 25 and you are a woman or a man, you should have a solid vision of where you're going. You should have a solid vision of where you're going. You don't know everything yet because you're still figuring it out. And you're a bit naive because you don't have the real world experience. And you're probably, 4 or 5 years of working experience. But you should have a path and a clear vision of where you're going. And part of that is even checking your credit. Because you want to potentially acquire something, some assets one day. So when she says, I forgot about it. Oh, I forgot about it. It was my maiden name. You still have an opportunity to check your credit score. It's going to show up on your credit report. I check my credit report every single month. Something's on it. Oh, Antoine, because you know how you pay your stuff off every single month. Credit card increase, credit card decrease. You get that warning every single time. Oh, a new account has opened up. Oh man, let me go check that out. See what's going on. Make sure nobody went in and try to hack me or something like that. I check it every single month. And you should be doing the exact same thing. So when there's an excuse from a 25-year-old, it was in my maiden's name. I'm still young and dumb. Giving you guys a little bit of game to say, pay off your credit cards. No, that's common sense. Common sense. Odin says, all the layers of makeup is probably when they both went into debt. Man, you tell me about it. They're covering it up. They're covering up. That's a lot of makeup. That's a lot of money. Good point. Danny says, let's be honest. Excuses don't pay the bills and entitlement doesn't come with any paycheck. Man, you speaking the truth on that, Danny. Odin says, and do not listen to the haters. Stick to your vision always. You are absolutely right. Put your head down, focus forward. Do not follow the same path as where everybody's going. And when people have something to say about what you're doing, don't pay it attention. Now, I know that's hard. It's hard for me sometimes, too. I got a comment on one of my videos because I use, obviously, I'm figuring out this whole YouTube algorithm. And sometimes you got to put those crazy thumbnails faces on your videos, right? You got a comment on one of my videos. You got to stop using those thumbnails. It's clickbait, and I'm sick and tired of seeing it. And I'm sick and tired of seeing you on my YouTube algorithm. And I said, man, if my views are going up, the money's going up, sounds like to me that this person is just a goddamn hater. No, in my older ways, I would probably be like, oh, let me go and start changing this stuff up. Nope, I'm not paying attention. I don't care. You're going to see that same ugly face every single time in those thumbnails. Yes, you're going to see the same exact face. Why? Because the algorithm wants it. And it's getting more people to view the videos. So when some hater comes by and says, hey, Antoine, you need to stop using those thumbnails. You already know what fingers I want to show them. You already know what fingers I want to show them. Do not listen to the haters. I'm telling you. Do not listen to the haters, guys. It's true. I love it. Good point. Let me continue on.
Y'all say a little prayer for me and the rest of the courtroom because something comes over me sometimes and makes me cry for no reason. So let's hope that I don't start bawling my eyes out in front of everybody. Wish me luck.
Okay, so you sued me. I get it. I didn't pay back. That was my fault. I fell on hard times, okay? I had a lot of shit I went through, okay? So I didn't pay him. Y'all sued me. I tried to work with the lawyer and say, hey, I can only afford $50 a month. Okay, I can only afford $50 a month. Like literally, I work 3 jobs. I do fucking DoorDash. I don't know what else you want from me. They said, no, 160. And I was like, well, no, I can't afford that. And then they said, oh, well, can you borrow money from someone? No, if I could borrow money from someone, I would, and I would give it to you. Trust me, I'm not trying to say I didn't do it, but I don't have the money. I don't have it. Okay, so y'all sued me, and I got a letter because the judge ruled in favor of them, obviously. But I got a letter, and the letter pretty much says, hey, so you gotta pay this, and there's gonna be interest on it until it's paid in full. So I don't have the money. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't have it. I do not have it. Y'all spent more money on a lawyer than to just write it off. I'm sorry, like, I f***ed up, but I don't have it. So what do you want me to do? Pull it out of my fucking butthole? I don't have it. So f*** you, Discover. That was predatory. I was 21. You guys gave me $8,000 to start with, and then when you saw me hitting that limit, y'all said, let's raise it to 10 grand. Discover, count your motherfucking days. Count your motherfucking days.
So I'm getting.
I don't know what to say about that one, so I'm gonna move on.
Sued by a credit card company. It's an old credit card. I have trial this morning, and I was served my papers about 2 months ago, and I've done a lot of research as far as what I need to do, what I should say, and from what I was seeing in other videos, a lot of you guys actually are going through the same thing. So I try to do my own research, got as ready as I think I could be, got all my papers and stuff this morning. We'll see how this turns out. I'm about to go in. My trial is, I have the appointment for my trial at 11 a.m. So it's in less than an hour here. But if I end up coming out on top, I'll try to make another video if you guys are interested, just in regards to what I did, what I said, the route I took in order to fight this thing back. So wish me luck.
How long? Tell me something, guys. Why does misery content, why is it loved? This is people who don't take responsibility for their actions, but yet they get tons of views, right? This guy's video had over 48,000 views on TikTok. His stories being followed. He wants to make videos like this because of the fact that it's going to give him some views, some attention. I'm doing a reaction video to it. But why is it like that? Why does degeneracy, why is it that it's worth more than real gain? Why is that first fellow who was putting makeup on his face with a spider on his forehead gets more attention than videos like this? We're just giving you guys game on how to prepare for your career, how to be financially responsible, and taking accountability and ownership. Why do those videos get more views than this sort of stuff? Help me understand that. I don't get it, but I want to know from you guys. Tell me. Maybe it's because people are doing worse off than they really want to, and then finally somebody has to say something about it, and people are like, I resonate with him. God, I'm doing bad too. Let me just view it as well. I'm getting sued too. If that's the truth, then we are in some terrible times as a country. Terrible times. Let's listen to this next one.
Will it take your creditors to sue you and get a judgment against you after you've stopped paying your debts? Well, that is a question that is completely unique to the creditor themselves, and there's no easy answer to that. I can tell you that in Ohio, where I live, the first creditors that are going to sue you are going to be medical providers, but that's not the case in all areas. Credit card companies not paying your car, how long will it take them to repossess? Depends on whether or not you finance through Chrysler Financial or you finance through a buy here, pay here place on the corner. And, you know, there's no real rhyme or reason to how fast Chase credit card company will sue you, but there are problems out there that can just show up when you least expect them, but they're inevitable. So you need to start thinking now about what you can do about those. Because the worst thing is to come to an employer after you've already started a garnishment and can't pay for bankruptcy.
Danny says something that I loved. Danny says that passion that people have on their social media, they should be applying for jobs. Applying for jobs, they should be learning new skills. They should be reading a little bit more. They should be watching content that's going to help them get ahead. I agree, Danny. Danny also says because in your videos, the effort is harder. Applying, building resumes and cover letters is too much work while just talking on camera. It's easy to talk on camera. NC Worker says, we have a toxic, entitled, and self-pity culture. Bayless Cole says, because people are doing bad and either relate to this content or like seeing people doing worse than them. We've got it figured out, guys. We have it figured out. So, NC Worker, Danny, Bayless Code, right? Odin. Think about this, right? When I first started this channel, I wanted to highlight the successes of people. So let's just say NC Worker, you was just promoted in your career, or you just got a 13% raise, or you got nominated to President's Club. Bring you on to the channel and let's talk about it and how you got to where you were and all this other stuff. It was called On Their Journey. I did this for a number of people that I went to grad school with first, and then some other people that I just came across and people that I admire in their careers. Do you know that that was not good? It was good for people, but it wasn't good enough to get monetized. It wasn't good enough to get monetized. Helping people wasn't good enough to get monetized. And then, you start to dabble into what the real world is going on and all the negative stuff. Because, you turn on the news and you say, God, why is it always about shootings? And why is it always about something that somebody did? And why is it always about people going to the bars or DUIs and all this other stuff? And he's like, I can't watch that stuff. I got to get that stuff out of my head. I don't like to turn it on. And you see, but that's what gets the eyes, sensation. People want to know about this sort of stuff. And then you read a little bit more about psychology and what people are drawn to. And then you start to think about yourself and what you're drawn to at times in your life. After a long day of work, sometimes you just want some senseless stuff. Sometimes you just want somebody to talk to you. Sometimes you want somebody to say nothing. And sometimes you just want to hear people doing bad and you're just getting caught up on the gossip so that you can actually speak it to somebody else. My whole point here is when you start to create content, when you start to go into your content journey or your side hustle, whatever that is, if it's really related to content, spin it in a way that you're talking about other people doing really bad. Okay? Spin it because people want to know about that. People want to hear about that. People want to hear about tragedy. People want to hear about people not doing good. And the algorithm is going to reward you for it. People want to hear about you not paying your credit card bill and what happens. People want to hear about you cheating on your wife and what happened. They want to hear that story. They don't want to hear that you've been married for 50-something years and you've had a successful marriage and you raised 15 different kids and you did it the right way. They don't want to hear that way. They don't want to hear that at all. Matter of fact, I was listening to O'Shea Duke Jackson today on my road trip. And the conversation was about Travis Hunter, a guy whose mom moved him out of Florida to middle Georgia to play football. He goes to HBCU instead of going to Florida State, committed, never got in trouble, followed one of the best football players in American history, went on to Colorado, became a number 2 draft pick. Now he's married. And there's a group of people that is talking about him being married as if like it's a bad thing. There's a group of people that's talking about him being married, no matter what his girlfriend situation is like it's a bad thing. These people are degenerates. This man has done it right. There should be more people like Travis Hunter. But people love the negative. They want to hear about his girlfriend, what his girlfriend did potentially when she wasn't with him. That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to hear. They want to know about the negative stuff. They want to know about the people who aren't paying their credit card bills. They want to know about the people who are being laid off. That's why I talk about it. And my good brother Orlando knows it. And he's figured it out. He's figured it out a lot before, a lot longer than I have. I remember when I had conversation with Orlando. I went to St. Louis and I was with him in Pocket Watching JT. And we were talking about, you know, our channels, and we were small. Oh, I'm still small. Orlando's big time, right? Him and JT are big time. We were having conversations, and Orlando was telling me about all the things that he was talking about in his channel and how his channel has transitioned from real estate to, you know, what's going on and the sensationalism in what people want to see, the content. And he's stuck with it. And it's grown. And that's what people want to see. That's just our psychology. So guys, when you create content, that's the strategy. I'm figuring it out. I never wanted to put myself into this situation, but it's what it is. And then you can actually flip it. Anton Daniels did the exact same thing. And he called it something. I forgot what he says. He says, give him the candy, put a little bit of medicine in it. I'm finally figuring it out, guys. Finally figuring it out. Finally figuring it out. It's true. People like misery. People want to hear when bad things happen. It's true. Jason says, Antoine, to know much wisdom is to know much sorrow. That's true. That is true. Danny says, can we stop and say if these people have the same personality of drama and victimization in their workplace, maybe they look for it to get laid off? Ooh, wow. That's true, man. That's a good point. That's a good point. Very good point, Danny. Maybe they look for it. If they have that sort of a mentality that they're going to bring it to social media talking about this sort of stuff, why wouldn't that same mentality go on in the workplace that caused you to get laid off? True. Very good point, Danny. Odin says, Bitcoin miner. I'm not sure where that comment comes in at, but I get it. Yeah. It's interesting. Let's continue on. I'm going to show you guys a couple more other ones.
Discover does not play when it comes to the money that is owed to them. So Discover kind of just skips the whole collection agency process in general and just goes directly through the courts. And if they're going through the courts, there's going to be a lot of additional fees such as court fees, attorney fees, and all these other interest fees that you're going to get on top of the debt. So my suggestion is to always work it out with them. A lot of times people can negotiate those debts for even 50% or less. I have personally seen people negotiate their Discover debts to a significantly lower amount. So it's very important that you get on top of it, because if you don't, they will definitely come for you. So if you have a debt with Discover and you've been delinquent with that debt, I highly suggest contact.
I decided to file.
She's telling you guys just to be responsible. That's all she's telling you. Do the things that you should be doing. Pay off your damn debt. Pay off your credit card. Don't open a credit card without you having the money for it. And I know there's times when you fall on tough times and whatnot, but don't start blowing it for no stupid stuff. Going on a trip to Cancun and going on a trip to Dominican Republic. Otherwise, you're going to be making content that people are going to love. You telling your story. My brother Orlando says, yes, trust me, I tried the other way. I know you did. I've seen it, bro. I tried it way longer, and I should have followed you a long time ago. Orlando, I should have followed you for years. And I have been following you for years, obviously, but you know, it's one of those things where People love misery. People love it. People love misery. And when they create content out about it, it gets views. This lady, 27,000 hearts, decided she wants to file for bankruptcy. 27,000 hearts. No telling how many views that is, but she got 27,000 hearts.
For bankruptcy first, and then I stopped making credit card payments. So basically what happened is that I hired a bankruptcy lawyer and I got financial advising, basically, that they were like, your best option is bankruptcy. And I was like, word, let's do it. Hired a lawyer. And then I had to stop making payments for 6 months before I could actually file, because you can't have like preferential payments on your record. Like you can't pay off some creditors more than others. Because I had like a number of different creditors, like had a loan and everything, I had to stop paying off everyone all together at the same time so that it was all like equal, which was great because I was literally hemorrhaging money on payments that were making absolutely zero dent in my debt. So that was awesome. Yeah, but I decided first. I'm always down to talk about my bankruptcy, by the way. I love talking about it. It's like the best thing that I've ever done. And it has taught me so much about money and life and just like myself and everything. Like it was the most valuable experience I've literally ever gone through.
I got sued.
Again, she just says she loves talking about her bankruptcy. True. All right. I just said it. I just gave you guys the content game. I gave you guys the content thing. Absolutely, Danny. Danny says, Antoine, I will be setting up a coaching call with you. I want you to take me to another level. You are the man. 305 here as well. I'm telling you, man. It's your brother Danny right there. Like, guys, it's make it happen. Make it happen. But if you want to get into the content strategy, you got so many people to follow. You got so many people that you can figure it out. And I can tell you like this, I figured it out. I figured it out. Create content on what other people's miseries are, what other people are talking about. Not only that, create content on your own experiences. If you can do that, and if you are in a field where you can help people to turn it around, you are going to be rich. That's what happens. All right, guys, let's listen to this last one.
By American Express for a credit card that I never paid back. What should I do? I mean, pay it. If you got sued for a debt that you actually recognize and accumulated, the best option is to not just ignore it, it's to pay it. You can reach out to the law firm or American Express and come to a payment plan with them in order to settle and satisfy the debt. Otherwise, if you ignore it, then you could potentially have it lead to a judgment or even worse, a garnishment where they're pulling the money out of your paycheck directly and you don't have a choice in that matter anymore. So I recommend, again, if you happen to get sued on an account that you recognize, make sure to respond. You typically have 20 days to respond to a summons. The other thing to keep in mind is you need to make sure that if you are getting sued, they need to serve you the papers in person and not just drop it off at your doorstep. Because who's to say that you actually did or didn't receive the summons if it was just left on your doorstep and you weren't actually receiving it in person? So reach out to American Express or the law firm, come to a settlement. A lot of people, unfortunately, try to avoid these scenarios, and it typically plays out not in their favor. I'd rather you be on the safe side and protect yourself from a potential garnishment down the line.
Papers right here.
He just gave you guys the game. Okay? Simple is and straightforward. Guys, pay your credit card off. Pay it. If you get yourself into a situation where you're running late on payments, call your credit card company to be able to get that paid off. Call them. Get on a payment plan. Find another job. Get it figured out. Get it paid off. Yes, it's important. Don't just have them come and sue you. That's irresponsible. That's what little kids do. That's what babies do. You are an adult. You should be taking care of your responsibility. My brother, Ant Dog, says, Antoine, have you ever had consumer debt? Absolutely. Especially when I was in college, Ant Dog. Absolutely. I took credit cards out. I was irresponsible. You leveraging credit cards, and I got them paid off. One of the things that I had to do when I became a full-time employee, I paid off my credit card debt. $16,000. Absolutely. All from being a student. all from being a student. So yes, there's times you're going to find yourself in credit card that even as an adult, I've leveraged credit, consumer debt, and you pay it off. You make sure that you make enough money to pay it off. I mean, when I bought my truck, my Toyota Tundra in 2014, I had just signed a new deal. And I knew I was going to be I don't know, like a $50,000 commission, right? Whatever it was. And the truck was about $37,000. And I got a Chase Sapphire. And my credit limit on my Sapphire is $70,000. So, I could have went to the bank to finance it, or I could have paid it off. Well, I just used my credit card, paid it, purchased the truck. Then as soon as my check came in, I paid it off. That's what I did. So yes, there's times that you leverage debt and consumer debt on credit cards in order for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish. But you don't do it and forget about it. You don't do it expecting it to go away. You don't do it and say, I just give up on it. No, that's not what responsible people do. That's not what adults do. That's not what you've been taught to do. Now, I would tell you like this. If you're leveraging your credit cards to go on party, to go on drink and all this other stuff, and you don't have the money coming in, you are foolish. You being financially irresponsible. If you're in sales and you're holding yourself to, you want to take your family on a nice trip or whatever it is, and that trip is going to cost you $8,000, and you got a car that you don't have any money or you don't have any additional debt on, and you pay $8,000 for that, and you're going to be getting a commission for $30,000 at the end of the month. Yes, use that. Float it. Absolutely. You get points, all that sort of stuff that you can leverage. But don't sit here and say, oh man, I'm just going to take that, $8,000 and eventually I'll get a job that's going to help me pay it off. Eventually doesn't work. You got to know what's going to be coming in. You got to know if your YouTube channel or your rental properties are going to be bringing enough income for you to use the money that you're going to be leveraging, because that's not your money. That is a quick loan. Anyway, guys, that's the show that I have for you guys. It's tough out here. The market is tough. The layoffs is happening. More and more are happening every single day. The month of May, over 61,000 people has been impacted. Not only that, if people are being impacted with layoffs, you already know that they're putting a whole bunch of money on credit cards. So the reason why I wanted to put the two together today was to tell you guys that if this does happen to you, don't go out there and start putting a whole bunch of stuff on credit cards, guys. The worst thing that you can do. Interest rates are way too high. And banks and these credit card companies, they're going to sue you. And the last thing you want to do is mess up your credit when you need it, because you have messed up credit. You're not going to be able to buy the assets that you want to buy. You're not going to be able to do that. They're going to look at your credit. And if your credit is poor, they're going to give you a higher interest rate, or they're not going to give you access to the monies that you need. So don't go do it. Guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this show a little bit longer than usual, but I wanted to make sure I tapped on those two things just at this live stream. And more importantly, when it comes down to your career, guys, be serious about it. Know what's going on. Document your wins. Document your wins. You have to. Ask your leaders what exceptional looks like. Quantify what it is that you do. Understand what it is, how you're making an impact. The dollars you saved, the process you improved, the output that you caused to increase. Learn AI, touch it, feel it, have it make videos for you. Understand how it can make your work efficient, help others in your organization when they don't use it because they're old, dusty, and crusty. Use it. Create a new agent. Build on top of what people are already building. Stay ready. Keep your resume updated. If you guys need something from me, know where to book me at www.blkheights.com. You guys can book a coaching call with me directly. You can book it with my partner, Ken. You can look up, and if you need career services, whether it's a LinkedIn optimization or a resume or a cover letter, book services with us, www.blkheights.com, and you will get access to me. Guys, we will see you on the next video. And that is going to be on tomorrow. Got something good coming out for you guys. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Central Time. But we will also see you guys on next Monday. And I got to make sure that I have my going away music for you guys, because here's the thing, my stream deck isn't working right now. So I got to make sure that I get that going. All right. All right, we're not going to be able to figure it out. Guys, we'll see you in the next one. Until next time, guys.